I 30 female changed into a Stepford wife, no longer happy with my marriage but I think it's I 30 female changed into a Stepford wife, no longer happy with my marriage but I think it's basically my fault. My husband 35M and I have been together for approximately 4 years. We have one young child together. I'm not happy in my marriage anymore and I think it's mostly my fault. I changed a lot over the last few years, especially since becoming a mother, and my husband is the same guy he has always been. When we were dating we were sexually adventurous, had threesomes and poly relationships, and basically lived a party life while maintaining respectable, professional jobs. I loved that my husband didn't judge me for being very sexually adventurous, as other men had, and he didn't expect me to have a traditional housewife role. He didn't care if I cooked or cleaned and was fine with having a messy house and eating a lot of takeout. But as I've gotten older and become a mother I find myself strongly desiring a more traditional lifestyle. I don't have any interest in sex with other people outside our relationship, and I want our house to be clean and comfortable, and I want to eat healthy, nutritious food. My husband appreciates all the cooking and cleaning I do, but it's not important to him and he doesn't help out. I am growing more and more resentful that I can't motivate him to do basic cleaning tasks around the house. It's not like I enjoy cleaning either, but I really want our child to grow up in a nice home. I also had to stop drinking and using all recreational drugs when I got pregnant, and I never started again. My husband still, in my opinion, drinks to excess, and occasionally likes to go out and take drugs with his friends. When he does this I get very angry with him, and his response is that I have the freedom to take a night off from parenting and do the same if I choose to. I feel like we have really grown apart and have very little in common these days outside of managing a shared household. I don't feel very close to him or emotionally connected. I don't look forward to spending time with him. When we have long periods of time together, like car rides, we don't talk anymore. We each put on headphones and listen to podcasts or audiobooks. In fact, sometimes we'll each independently put on the same podcast, but listen to it separately. When I noticed this it seemed symbolic of the rest of our lives. We are so separate these days. Our sex life is okay, our finances are in good order, and we get along very well with each other's families. We went to counseling about a year ago and things improved marginally for a very short time, but we ran out of things to talk about with the counselor and the improvements disappeared quickly. What do I do? Do I stay in this marriage I feel indifferent to? I miss feeling in love. But I don't want to tear my family apart. TLDR. I changed into a Stepford wife and resent my husband for not changing with me. Not his fault, but I'm unhappy and don't know what to do. Some of OOP's comments. Commenter. Is your husband bonded with his kid? Does he take them to the park without you and bath them and tuck them in at night? Also, are you working or are you a stay-at-home mom? It seems like many Psalms have trouble finding interesting things to talk about since their world is so small, generally. Oop. I work full-time. My husband and I each have very demanding careers. I would say my husband and daughter have a good bond, but I get the impression that parenthood is a lot more work and less fun than he anticipated. I think perhaps he had an overly rosy view of things. He does love her and enjoy spending time with her, but not in the same way that I do. Oop responds to a long comment. Oop. Before kids, date night could happen whenever. After kids, it takes more work to find the time. Figure out how to go on that drive. Make the time to be with each other. If you are listening to the same podcast, make a mini discussion date afterward. I think this is getting closer to the crux of my feelings about all this. The housework etc. is all problematic, but really I miss having any kind of closeness. It bothers me a lot that my husband either doesn't notice or doesn't care. Sometimes I schedule date nights into our weekly planner, and he spends the date playing with his phone or just being quiet. We had one good date night that I can remember in the last year. The rest have all been duds that left me feeling even sadder and lonelier than before. Commenter. You didn't change into a Stepford wife. You grew up. When you have a kid, it's no longer acceptable, emo, to put your life, livelihood, and lack of a criminal record in danger by taking recreational drugs. It's no longer okay to eat shitty food and live in filth. Someone depends on you now, and you don't get night here you pretend you're not a parent, suck it up. I think y'all need a chore chart, and I think you need to share parenting duties better. I.e. for every night he goes out, you go out a different night. Every time, which, hopefully, should give him an idea of what sacrifice means. And I think if he keeps taking drugs, you should seriously think about leaving him. Oop. I have gone back and forth about whether to reply to this comment because I have seen a lot of times on this subreddit, when ops start to reply they get downvoted a lot and eviscerated. I am really sensitive about this issue, so I guess I will just say, if you are going to respond, please keep that in mind. I don't have a thick skin about this. I just want to clarify a few things. First, we didn't and won't ever live in filth. The cleaning issues are more things like, keep all surfaces clear and wipe down with a cloth every day, put dishes straight into dishwasher instead of piling up for a few days, laundry every 1 to 2 days instead of every 1 to 2 weeks. And the recreational drugs aren't like shooting up heroin, more like getting together with his friend who has an Adderall prescription and taking Adderall and smoking weed and drinking whiskey while playing video games. I think it's kind of immature and lame, but I wouldn't leave him over that issue specifically. I understand your point about me going out too, but I don't think it really solves anything if I make a point of going out each time he does just to keep score. He does spend time with our child when I ask him to, or when I have to work late, or when I have actual plans, not plans that I make up to keep score with him. But for the most part, one don't think he enjoys parenting the way I do, and our parenting will always be imbalanced for that reason. I do it because I love it, and he does it because he has to. Commenter. But for the most part, one don't think he enjoys parenting the way I do, and our parenting will always be imbalanced for that reason. I do it because I love it, and he does it because he has to. I don't think it should be imbalanced for that reason. Frankly, I don't think it matters why either of you parent. For the sake of said child, I think it's important that you both do, equally, period. I don't think it really solves anything if I make a point of going out each time he does just to keep score. I do. I think he needs to learn that you both work, you both need friends, and you both parent. And one parent has to sacrifice so the other can go out, and that ought to be equal. And he will, I suspect, be more egalitarian about leaving you to go party when he is forced to understand that it comes with the price of being left alone to parent an equal amount. Oop. I think maybe I'm not communicating well here. I don't have a problem with him going out because it's a sacrifice for me to stay home with my daughter. I love the time I spend with her, and that's not a sacrifice at all. I think the reason it bothers me when he goes out and does drugs is deeper and more emotional. It feels like he still has and likes and wants this old lifestyle that I'm not part of anymore. I don't even really want to be part of it, but it still feels bad knowing that he does. I understand your points about trying to make things fair, with exactly equal numbers of nights out and exactly equal amounts of time spent parenting, but I just don't think relationships work like that. I think it becomes very toxic to bean count and spreadsheet each other like that. Commenter. It feels like he still has and likes and wants this old lifestyle that I'm not part of anymore. I don't even really want to be part of it, but it still feels bad knowing that he does. He might feel a sort of abandonment too, and that things were easier when you were both living your life in that style. Do you think he's receptive to going back to counseling? These issues don't sound unresolvable, just not well communicated and discussed. Oop. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. He has said he misses the old me. He would definitely go back to counseling if I asked him to. The last time we were there, it got to a point where there was a lot of dead air, and I think we both felt like it wasn't that productive anymore. Commenter. What brought you two together? You really only describe the freedom he was comfortable with and that you fit all right in each other's lives. Opening square bracket ... closing square bracket. Oop. Honestly, a lot of what brought us together was partying and having sexual adventures. That's the main reason I brought it up in the op, although I think people have misconstrued this to mean that he is partying so much now that it's interfering with his parenting. I worry that now we just don't have anything in common, although that's more just the pessimistic, frustrated, lonely part of me talking. We still have similar interests, read the same books, listen to the same podcasts, work out together, and similar goals. We own a business together, are working toward buying a house, have a great plan for retirement, and similar parenting philosophies. I will try asking him the questions about where we'll be in X years. Those are good questions. Commenter. Part of a longer comment. On a final note, have you considered hiring a housekeeper? It sounds like you could afford to do so, and it would probably save you time and help you feel less resentful if you weren't solely responsible for housework. Oop. Yeah, from the replies here it is starting to sound like a housekeeper is a good solution. If I am really honest with myself, I have felt a lot of pressure to have it all, and to show that I can manage my career in-house, and that has made me reluctant to hire professional help. But if throwing some money at the problem will really help, I think we should just do that. To a longer comment. Oop. Before we had our daughter, we talked about ways that we could continue to do the things we were doing, occasional recreational drug use, polyamorous relationships, etc., in a way that would be safe and responsible. For instance, we have a responsible parent policy. If one parent is using recreational drugs, including alcohol, or takes a sleeping pill, or does anything else that takes them out of commission for parenting, that parent has to clear it with the other parent, and the other parent has to be the responsible parent until the other one is back in good shape. We also had a plan that every week, there would be mom's night out, dad's night out, and date night for mom and dad with a sitter. The reality is just so different. The competent, professional sitters in our area charge a minimum of $15 per hour with a 4-hour minimum, which is not a practical expense to have a weekly basis. I don't think either of us can get it together to go out for a recreational, social event every week. Update 2 days later. I did not expect to be posting back so soon, especially because I didn't do anything. But I think my husband was also feeling the distance and the tension between us. Today, I snapped at him over a minor household issue, and he asked to be alone in our office for a while. While he was in there, he reorganized the entire office, a massive project, and took care of filing about a year's worth of paperwork that had just piled up. He paid some bills that were my responsibility out of his personal account. We use the his, hers, ours system for our finances. And he balanced my retirement portfolio, a project I've been putting off for way too long because it stressed me out. Then, he went out to pick up some dinner, and over dinner we talked about a family vacation we want to take together soon, which he offered to plan and pay for. As soon as he walked out of our house to pick up dinner, I broke down in tears. I think it was just the realization that he has his own way of showing he loves me, and sometimes I get so absorbed in my own thoughts and feelings, and so burdened by the weight of my responsibilities, that I don't even notice how much he does. Anyway, sorry this isn't a more dramatic update. I can see now that my husband and I need to work more on connecting with each other, but we are both still in it to win it. And even though he sucks at showing it sometimes, I know he loves me and is devoted to our family. TLDR. My party animal husband balanced my retirement portfolio for me, and it was the wake-up call I needed to realize he does love me and we can get through this rough patch. Edit to add. To everyone commenting and sending me private messages telling me that I'm spoiled because I don't work, I have a demanding and successful full-time job. I work as many or more hours than my husband and am an equal contributor to our finances. Shame on you for assuming that, because I'm a woman, I don't work. Some of OOP's comments. Editor's note. Keep in mind this happened in 2014. The 5 love languages were all the rage then. Top commenter. I'm glad things are looking up for you. I didn't read the earlier post, but have you heard of the book The 5 Love Languages? It basically presents this theory that everyone shows their love through one of 5 ways, languages, and that so many problems in relationships, especially pertaining to, he doesn't love me, do anything nice for me, etc., can be helped by understanding your partner's love language. I seriously think both of you should read it and talk about it. I also think that you both should consider at least a couple sessions of marital counseling. Oop. Thank you. I have actually read the 5 Love Languages book, and really my husband and I have similar languages, so everything was hunky-dory while we were dating. I think he tends to get in ruts where he starts taking our relationship for granted, and he isn't using any of the love languages, and maybe I do the same thing too, sometimes. I think the trick is to just keep trying, keep talking, keep letting each other know how we feel, and not getting swept up in the tides of work and parenting and everything else that can so easily overwhelm and subsume simple acts of love and kindness toward each other. Commenter. Side note. I hope the reason people are assuming you don't work is because you use the term Stepford wife, which to my mind means stay-at-home mom who does nothing but cook and clean and polish her silver all day. Oop. That's fair. I guess I overreacted due to all the PMs telling me I should kill myself and my husband should divorce me. Also, this is a problem I regularly have in real life. Almost everyone my husband and I meet assumes I don't work. My job is super important to me and a huge part of my identity, so it is hard not to take offense.